this time of the year, most people are thinking about how to get their businesses up and running or hit the ground running. It's the beginning of the year. What are we going to do? But we're going to talk about how to plan your weekend retreat right now. So joining me now to talk more about that is Carla Harris of the People Institute and Dr. Julie Radlauer. What is this retreat I'm hearing about, Carla? You're the founder of it. It's got a unique name. What is it?
Oh, well, good morning, and thank you for having us, Jacqueline. So this is the Gathering of Women. I'm a badass, and I'm only human women's retreat.
Me knowing you, I understand why that you came up with that title. But I mean, it's so unique. And I want you to, break it down for us as to, first of all, what is the meaning behind the name? And then I know, Julie, you are going to join us as one of the inspirational speakers at this retreat. And I know you, and you've done so many remarkable things as to how to prepare our minds for the year. It's going to be a joy. So I'm going to put this up, and just so people know, what we're talking about. So as we get going here. So Carla, fill us in.
So first of all, this has been a goal of mine for about 7 years. By the time the retreat takes place, it will be 8 years that my friend and I in Washington, D.C., in my living room, started talking about why women need something like this. And so the Gathering of Women is the opportunity for women to come together and celebrate all that they do, all who they are, and really just be able to focus on themselves. So many times we take care of others. In fact, I know you're a caregiver to your mom, and I have, friends who are caregivers to their parents. And, I'm in that sandwich age, or I would be. My daughter is going off to college, and it really is an opportunity and a need for us to just say yes to ourselves and to celebrate our badassery. So what is that? That means that we have conquered it all. We do it all. We go out, we come home. Remember the commercial back in the day? I can bring home the bacon and fry it up in the pan. Well, that was the badass from back in the day. She is still alive and well today. But the part that we forget sometimes to celebrate, Jacqueline, is our humanity. While we're still pushing through those barriers, breaking those glass ceilings, making sure the kids get to school on time, homework is done, college applications are completed, partners are taken care of, businesses are run. What happens when we need to acknowledge our own humanity, when we need to say it's too much, when it's okay for us to take a break, when it's okay for us to say no to everyone else so we can say yes to ourselves? So that's what the Gathering of Women, I'm a Badass, and I'm Only Human retreat is all about.
And Julie, what part are you going to play in this retreat? And talk a little bit about what you do as well, so bring it home for us.
Sure, absolutely. What part am I going to play? Honestly, I'm hoping to just relax a little bit and take care of myself. But in addition, I have the honor of speaking at the event so that I can share with people, some of my research about why it's important to take care of yourself, why we have to take those breaks, and actually how to do it. I love what Carla's putting together with this event, because for me, it's all about social connectedness and how we can all increase our level of happiness when we have authentic social connections in our world. And so creating an opportunity for women to just relax in that space. She has some fun things planned in addition to some speaking events. And so it's going to be an opportunity to kind of like refresh, recharge, regenerate yourselves while you have the time to learn, and also be in really good community. So I'm looking forward to it on so many different levels.
I have to tell you, there was a women's retreat when I lived in California. And every year, they would advertise this retreat. And I was like, I do not want to be around a bunch of women. And that was just my mindset. I was just because I was, very much a tomboy, ride motorcycles, play pool, that kind of thing. In my mind, I was like, they're going to talk about shopping and makeup. And I'm not going to, this was my mindset. Help someone, please. Because until someone made me sign up, and I don't even know, maybe I needed to sign up. Whatever made me sign up, finally, I went. And I was like first in line every year after that to sign up. And I say that for someone who's thinking, I don't want to be around a bunch of women. It's not what you think. At least that, and I've been to some other ones, and you can't recreate every retreat. That one was particularly special to me, but this one, it's got my eye on. I'm like, I think, and tell us why that, can you help people out with that mindset, either one of you or both of you at the same time?
So I think, for me, when I was thinking about the topics and what the experience I wanted women to have. So, Friday night, we're doing a welcome happy hour. We have a live DJ who's very well known here in South Florida. And she is going to allow us to let our hair down and dance a little bit and just begin the process of connecting with one another, right? There's no agenda during the happy hour. It's just a welcome. We're here to just get our groove on for, a couple of hours, have a glass of wine, have some nibbles, with the ocean at our back as our backdrop. I mean, think about that, right? It's outside. And then on Saturday, we move into the workshops. Well, we start Saturday with Sunrise Pilates on the beach. So the infamous Kaylin James is going to be our Pilates instructor. She's also our MC for the duration of the retreat. And then we move into the workshops. So it's so funny, Jacqueline, that you talk about, oh my gosh, being around a whole bunch of women. And I know, you think about that, but we do have a tribe, right, that we surround ourselves with. So some of the topics for the workshop we're doing a panel discussion on the art of no, right? How to say no without feeling guilty, because we know that it's difficult for us to say no, right? Look at Julie shaking her head. It's so difficult for us to say no to other people, but guess who we say no to all the time? Ourselves. We say no to ourselves all the time. So then we have some other topics. We're doing something on wealth and women with, really understanding their finances. Deborah Owens is our speaker for that. She really focuses on financial management for women over 40. By the time, because we're not in our 20s setting up our, IRAs, when we're pre-teen or just post-teen. We're doing an oceanside chat for lunch. Called Authenticity Amplified, and it really is about women overcoming imposter syndrome. I was at a women's women's council event for one of the chambers, and I mean, you had a room full of excited, well-known women who were, high executives in their league, and the conversation still came up about how do you get past feeling like you don't belong, right? So, and then of course, Julie's going to talk about, connecting. We're doing some vision focus. It really is an opportunity to grow. But, also think about this. So one of the highlights, I guess, all of it's a highlight to me, but one of the big key pieces is Saturday night. So after dinner, we're having what's called pajama talk. So grab your fabulous pajamas, ladies. We are coming back. We're going to come back into the room for pajama talk, and we're going to have just candid, open conversations about anything intimate, communication, relationships, sex, orgasms. What happens when your body changes? How does it feel when you are, looking at your partner that you've been with for 40 years, and you're like, if you look at me that way one more time, I think I'm going to scream, because our bodies change. And, I was talking to some friends who are older, and they were just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do it right now. And I feel guilty when I say no. But it's not, so those are the kinds of things that we're talking about. It's not really just fuzzy. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of a little bit of glam here. We have a massage area. We have, we're still gathering vendors for shopping. But really the focus is just to be able to think about this as with your BFF, except you have multiple in the same room. That's all it is.
Now, is it open? Do you have the option of going to the different workshops, or are you like, required to go to all the workshops?
Well, required is, when your registration fee covers everything. I mean, if you choose,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. If you choose not to attend a session, that's up to you. Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't want to talk too much, but I want Julie to get in there too. But
Carla, this is something you have been planning for 8 years. You better talk it up, girl.
So listen, Graciela Laurent is doing boudoir shoots, mini boudoir shoots. So you can actually schedule an appointment with her and take 45 minutes and get your full sexy on with the ocean as your backdrop. I mean, think about that. You're not going to find that in a doggone retreat. That's your normal retreat. I'm sorry.
No, that is not.
Right. So this is just all about celebrating women and the fullness of who we are. The fullness in every part of us of who we are.
So let me talk about something else that came to my mind when people are deciding, on why, one, the guilt of not wanting to go to a retreat, but feeling guilty for going for yourself. And the other is, if you guys could break down the difference between a retreat and a vacation. Because sometimes vacations are not very vacation-y. You always need to be. Why do you always need a vacation after your vacation? To me, the retreat kind of explains that.
Yeah.
So if you could just break that down for people who are like, oh, I'll just go on vacation if I want to relax. Are you really going to relax? It's the question. So throwing that out there.
Julie, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think that a vacation for me is spending time with my family. And so that would be going along with, my mother, my mother-in-law, and my children, and my husband. And that is really fun. And I get to do that sometimes too. But being by myself, even though I'll be in the company of other women, I can kind of do what I choose to do. I love that there are so many options, and I'm going to be pulled in so many directions because there are so many fun things to do. But genuinely, if I feel like skipping one of those things and just taking a moment to myself, I feel I have full permission to do that. Because when I'm with my family and my children want to go in 15 different directions, I kind of have to do that. I feel like this is the time allocated for that. So for me, that's what that means. Is the only person I'm accountable to myself, to that time, for that time, is myself. And so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. And for me too, I mean, vacation is, there are some times I think you can steal away, and I don't, I'm a single mom. So, all of the vacations I've ever taken as a single parent really have been for my daughter, because it's her time to do what she wants. So there haven't been a lot of solo vacations that I've been able to take. Now I will tell you, because it's my retreat, this will not be a vacation for me, but I do have a great team of people who will be handling some of the back end. But you know how that goes, right? When you're planning your own party, it doesn't matter how many folks you have helping you. The pressure is still on you. But I am just, I really want women to look at themselves in the mirror and say that this is okay for them to do. it's okay for them to take 36 hours. It's not even really 3 full days. It's 36 hours. It starts at 6 p.m. on Friday night and it ends on 1 p.m. on Sunday. So it really is an opportunity to just say woosah. Oh my gosh, just woosah. You can just feel yourself relax and just, just say, okay, it's okay.
And to me, the important thing, what I really like, is that to plan it now. You
Yes.
know, this is something before the year, really kicks in to action or gets really going, that you're planning not a vacation, but a retreat.
Yeah.
And for me, those, the word retreat is that it is something that it's a reflection to me, on myself, on my way of thinking. Where's my mind right now? Why am I thinking what I'm thinking? And to remind myself how to fellowship, and just relax. Usually when I'm at an event, I'm generally, shooting it, covering it,
Yeah.
often. And so for me, again, just learning how to enjoy it. Something my daughter did over the holidays, and she's never done it before. She's a teenager, for one. At the end of dinner, she did all the dishes. And I was like, and we had a house full of people. We had 12 people at the house, and she did them all by herself. And plus I had injured myself also, but yes, right. But even still,
Yeah.
and she kept going, get out of the kitchen, get out of the kitchen. I was like, who are you, child? But she kicked me out. And that was a retreat in itself, not only for me, but me and my sister she was visiting. Because usually it's us in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
And it was such a retreat to be able to enjoy my guests. And so I, recommend that. But also remind yourself how to value yourself.
Yeah.
And so I recommend that, this gathering of women. I've known Carla for some time, for quite some time, really through COVID.
Yeah.
And your Pilates, because I covered Pilates Method Alliance, because, she was the director. I don't know if you're still the director. You used to be the director. Not anymore, but she was. And still, but it opened my eyes to Pilates. I was like,
Yeah.
I had no idea, how effective Pilates was. And so that will be an eye opener for you. If you don't really know what Pilates is, it's not yoga. Okay, because that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I was like, Pilates is yoga, right? With a different name, but it really isn't. And you will learn a lot. And I love the flexibility. And I had to put that out there because some women are like, this is like a conference, it's not a conference.
So one thing I want to say to that, Jacqueline, is that there will be no PowerPoints. There are no PowerPoints. I think every time I say it 3 times. There are no PowerPoints, right? We will have, each guest will get a workbook, and in that workbook, if they want to take notes, if they want to journal, they're able to do that. Between every session, we're doing something called table talk, which is an opportunity to engage the people in the room. So you're not just there listening to these 7 incredible speakers that are going to be there. You're also able to engage with them. So when the session is over, what can you reflect on what you just heard, and how can you implement that into your life? And what will you do once the retreat is over to now begin incorporating what you've learned from these incredible women who have just poured into you? So it's not a conference. It's a retreat. It's an opportunity for you to just reflect on how you want to move yourself forward on Monday, March 18th.
Now, before we leave, before you tell us, exactly how to register and all that, I do want to touch very quickly on what is the People Institute, and Dr. Julie Radler, what is it that you both do? outside of this retreat, just so, people understand who you are and why both of you are so connected. I mean, you really do complement one another.
Julie?
Okay, so I'm the CEO and founder of an organization called Collectively. Collectively centers on mental health and mental wellness. I've been working in this field for 25 plus years, and I've worked, as a nonprofit provider, as a researcher, as a consultant, as a funder. So all different hats around, mostly in systems. A lot of the work that I do these days is focusing on how we create equity to support people's mental health. And my research really has brought me to this space of where I focus on what's called the social influences of mental health, which is an equitable response to mental health. And it's focusing on the social aspects of our lives and how we can use those social influences to impact our mental health to create us a happier space for ourselves. So I focus on social connections, social support, social capital, social media, and social inclusion. And so I, really excited to share my knowledge and research with people so that they can become happier.
And she did a TED Talk not too long ago.
Yes.
And the book this year, and it's been a really great year. So I'm looking forward to sharing.
What's the name of the book? What's the name of the book?
The book is called Connect.
Okay, awesome. Carla, what is the People Institute?
So the People Institute is a boutique training and coaching firm, and we focus our leadership and executive coaching primarily on with women executive leaders. And our training programs range from everything from team building and corporate culture to leadership and communication. So it's all about working with clients to help them create a workplace culture that is inviting to the people that work there. And we know that when we have a culture in a workplace that is inviting and productive, it also means that we're continuing to grow. Our turnover decreases, our productivity and creativity increases, as well as working with executive women to make sure that they are taking care of themselves. So the badassery doesn't stop just at the retreat. It's really in working with the one-on-one client, women leaders that I work with. So I'm really excited about, 2024. We're actually kicking off a women's entrepreneurs boot camp starting in the first quarter of 2024. So more information on that to come. That's specifically for women entrepreneurs from the concept stage to the first 3 years of business ownership.
So, and I say that exactly because the two of you, what you do on a daily basis is really something that is just going to bless anyone who comes to this gathering of women. And you need people who know people or know how, when I say know people, I mean, know how to communicate with people, know how to bring people together, know how to motivate people behind what you do. You don't want somebody who's just throwing an event together and calling it something. There's a reason behind that title. It's because when you're in that position, you don't stop.
Yeah.
And what makes you better is if you do. And so that's, to me, the idea. When I first heard the title, I'm like, okay, she's saying, stop women. Stop women. You must stop and take care of yourself. And I appreciate that. And sometimes we need somebody to tell us that so that we do. So excited. I've had this title, this graphic up here to give you an idea where to register. Is there anything we should know about how to register, where to register, how to contact you, the best way to reach you? Carla.
Nope, just go to bossbadassery.com. The website is very comprehensive. You can find all the information there. The beautiful, incredible Pelican Grand Beach Resort is the host hotel, which is right on Fort Lauderdale Beach. And we still have vendor opportunities available, and we have sponsorship opportunities available. So if you are a supporter of women, Please, please make sure that you take an opportunity and look into all the collateral that we have. And one other thing I just want to say, Jacqueline, is that this is not just for the women that are going to be there. We have requested, even with the hotel staff, that we only have women servers, because even in the company of the women throughout coming in and serving, if they hear a nugget, if they hear a tidbit, I want every single woman that we engage with, however we engage with them, I want every single one to be able to walk away with something, whether it's the fullness of the retreat or just walking in and hearing that one piece of information that they didn't even know that they needed. And that's what's really important. So every person that we see for those 36 hours will be a woman vendor, a woman business owner, a woman server. So please, let's lift each other up as we do every single day.
Wow, thinking it all the way through. I love it.
All the way through.
All right, Carla, Dr. Julie Radler, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, and Happy New Year.
Thank
Happy New
you.
Year.
Happy New Year.
All right.